They blend in, oh yeah, this is a good one down here. They blend in with the leaves so well. Look at these. Bountiful, as close as to Italy as it gets. Let's go cook them. I heated up some olive oil in a large skillet, or you could use a pan like this. And then you let the peppers fry for a little bit, just until they sort of start to cook down and they get all beautiful and delicious looking. Now, if you watch a video that I made in 2012 with my nonna, I believe it was 2012, of making these Italian fried peppers, you'll see how she makes them, because this is sort of an idea on her recipe, you know, something that I grew up with. I can't get this garlic peel, it's driving me crazy. Add a handful of cherry tomatoes. You can cut them in half if you want, they'll burst really soon anyway. And then I'm just gonna grab my PVC pipe and get a little salt and just let them cook down. That's all. This will take about 15-20 minutes. Welcome to Lara in the wild, aka Lara in the backyard, Lara in the kitchen, summertime edition. I am going to be making some chicken skewers, really simple, a caprese style with a beautiful sort of bruschetta sort of topping with some orzo and burrata, and it's just delicious and divine, and I can't wait to share it with you because it will be a go-to summer staple. Let's start with the chicken. I've got some chicken breast here that I've cut into nice large chunks. To it, I'm gonna go ahead and grate some garlic. I'm only doing 1 clove because remember, when you grate garlic, it just becomes a lot stronger. And then to this, I'm going to add some salt-free, this is just garlic and herb. You can use any brand that your heart desires. A little bit of that. I need a little bit of red wine vinegar, just the tiniest bit. Teensy weeny black pepper, because I love black pepper. Oh, let me go grab some garlic. It's actually right behind you. I meant to say salt. I don't know why I said garlic. I meant to say salt. Garlic on the mind, because we use fresh garlic, and now we're using, and then we use garlic and herb. Some olive oil. This is really yummy and delicious, and a little whole grain mustard, and it just makes for a really phenomenal little drizzle, like marinade, a little drizzle of balsamic. And I'm just gonna grab my spoon and give everything a nice toss. You wanna make sure that chicken is coated. Now, you can do this portion way ahead of time, you know? Marinate it in the fridge, because let me tell you, it will get better and better as it marinates in the fridge. But if you don't have much time and you're in a pickle, this is just fine. Set that aside. You can add veggies to your skewers or not. I'm gonna go ahead and just add some yellow squash because they're just growing in the garden, and might as well, you know, and kind of just cut them the size of your skewer. Otherwise, they won't fit just quite right. So if you have to make a couple of weird cuts, by all means do so. You can add some onion to this if you wanted to. I'm just gonna keep it really simple with just the squash and the chicken, because again, we're gonna add the tomatoes, we're gonna add the burrata, and it will be quite spectacular. I've got my grill preheated. I am going to be using some metal skewers because I find them the easiest to work with. One, I don't have to worry about soaking them in water ahead of time, which you have to if you're using bamboo skewers, like wooden skewers. Otherwise they'll burn. And B, because the metal gets really hot from the inside, it evenly cooks your chicken on the inside as well. So I'm gonna grab those, grab my plate, and start skewering. Those look amazing. I'm gonna turn them off, let them sit, hit them with some basil right before I serve. Beautiful. Go to the water real quick because you know, what a great timing that was. I'm gonna add some orzo to the boiling water. Now remember, orzo really plumps up when it cooks. So I'll do about yay much. Okay, let me get my spoonular and my salt because that water is not salted, but I want to make sure that the orzo gets cooked really nicely. Let that cook until al dente. I'm actually going to add just a tiny bit more. There you go. And now we're going to put the skewers on the grill. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. Those will take 5-6 minutes or so per side. I'm going to close this off. Now it's time to chop the tomatoes. Chopping up my tomatoes. Well, I'm really just cutting the grape tomatoes in half if they're small, in quarters if they're really big. And then I have a couple of these beautiful vine ripe sweet tomatoes. I'm just going to give those a quick chop. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to slice up a shallot and some garlic and then grab some herbs. Alright, got my garlic chopped up. If you don't want to bite down on any raw bits of garlic, you can just leave it whole. But what I did in here, I actually put everything into this large bowl because I needed more space. Shallots, tomatoes, garlic, and now I just took some fresh herbs. Just parsley and basil, really go-tos, you know. I feel like they just make everything taste so alive. And I'm just going to give them a nice chop. I'm actually going to try and get this to be nice and fine. There was just a tiny bit of wind and I don't want it to take my herbs. Good olive oil, don't be afraid. Good pinch of salt, again, don't be afraid. A little grinding of pep. Give everything a really good toss. I'm also going to add just a drizzle of balsamico. Look how beautiful. That is gorgeous. And as that sits for a couple of minutes, the salt will kind of like draw out all of the moisture from the tomatoes. I'm going to take some of the tomatoes out because I'm going to top this. You'll see. Taste for seasoning. Good. Just a bit more salt. And I'm going to go ahead and add my orzo. I have drained it, but it's still hot. And I kind of want it to be hot because it's going to slump the tomatoes and really absorb all of those just insanely delicious juices. And I want a bit more black pepper. That looks good. How stunning. Look how beautiful. Wait for it, wait for it. That is gorgeous. If you're not going to want to eat that all summer long, well, then you're not going to be able to come over. Because I'm going to want to eat this all summer long. Some fresh basil everywhere. And that is honestly my idea of a perfect summer dinner or lunch, whatever. You know I'm gonna devour this. I'm just trying not to do it right now. But, that chicken, juicy, delicious. That is a 10 out of 10. I hope to find you in your garden, in your kitchen, wherever. Make this for your next gathering. It's just sublime. Hope you've enjoyed spending time with me. The recipe will be online at thekitchen.com, and I will see you in the next one.
Mike, can I get a shot of your hand taking the plate that you
Mike, I have something to drizzle on your chicken.